we spent we paid out $90 billion last year, and those payments all have to be reviewed. So when I get back to look at, when you have that amount of capital and that amount of assets, I said that we should look at a few initiatives beyond our core operations. Our core operations are unclaimed property. We have a 529 program, which is for college. We have a fiscal review department, and I think we have, and then we have what we call Bureau of Unclaimed Property, right? So those are our lines of businesses. So we looked at what can we do to further expand those things. So this year we relaunched our program to help homeowners with getting them in touch with local contractors to install energy efficient equipment, energy efficiency in their homes. That's a program that was developed out of Treasury. It's a very successful program, and it's gone nationwide. And we relaunched that again in a new and innovative way. Secondly, we're in the process of rolling out a very new program similar to our 529 program that it provides a tax advantage savings accounts for individuals with disabilities. It's called ABLE. It's the ABLE Act, and it allows those to be able to put money away similar as you would in a 529. Third, as mentioned by President Taylor, we created the Emerging Manager Program. An Emerging Manager Program, it will bring innovative strategies and diverse ideas to Treasury on how we can expand the use and the investment of our money, both locally, domestically, and globally. Fourth, and I think this is a critical one, today I was reading USA Today, and they were talking about the issues affecting America, and one of those issues is infrastructure. We have huge infrastructure issues, and is that I am going to initiate a program that will focus on PA only to provide investment dollars to focus on our infrastructure throughout Pennsylvania. So that's a new program that will be announced shortly. And fifth, and not to be the least, is why we're here today, which is our Small Business Initiative. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, small business is what drives the U.S. economy. And indeed, it drives Pennsylvania's economy. We have roughly 1 million businesses here in Pennsylvania. Of that 1 million businesses, they employ 2.4 million people. However, nearly 2/3 of our small businesses have 0 employees beyond the owner itself. So that's a huge statistic. So experience tells us that when entrepreneurs and business owners are provided with immediate and powerful knowledge transfer and access to cutting-edge solutions for improving business skills, and while lowering their operating costs, entrepreneurs will produce business growth and additional employees for our residents. It is Pennsylvania's Treasury's goal to continue to bring all these ingredients together, to continue to provide positive outcomes to benefit the Commonwealth. And I would also say, as a side note on those statistics, the most important statistics are, today, we are in what is considered a low-yield environment from an economic standpoint. And what we're talking about, as America as a whole, we're an aging country. We're aging. We have our baby boomer population that's set to retire. There are roughly 80 million baby boomers, and there are 50 million millennials. We're talking about, on average, a job shortage of about 5 million jobs where people need to be filled. We won't have enough folks to fill them. So what you're doing as a small business, as an entrepreneur, and trying to keep this dream of keeping the dream of America alive, that's what you're participating in. By being a small business owner, you are a critical ingredient to this environment in America as a whole. As we look at these statistics, we have to find a way to be productive and to continue to be productive. And we have less people to do that. So let's keep busy, okay? So getting back to, I think that when we look at today's program and what we're trying to accomplish, what we believe is that working with the private sector, many of our sponsors and supporters who are part of the private sector, and working with our universities throughout the Commonwealth, that Treasury could become a catalyst for this ongoing development of our small business, to keep it going, to deal with some of the issues around that we highlighted with 2/3 of 0 employees. This program will provide you with networking opportunities. It'll provide you hopefully with connection to new mentors. And ultimately, we look for you to be a successful business. Finally, I hope, and our goal is that we want you to fill out, as you go through these classes, to fill out the survey cards. We have information that we'd like you to enter. And that information is vital because it's not just about what we're doing today. The idea is about the fact that we want to track you as a cohort to see, does this have an impact? Will this program have an impact? And that's what we want to measure this on. Can this be impactful? Will this produce growth? So I'd like to thank the sponsors. I think you should look at your program, and we should take a moment to just celebrate their participation with a round of applause. I would like to also acknowledge some of our VIPs in the room. I have Gary Lee from Erie County Administration. Gary, please stand for a round. Amazing. We have Curtis Jones from City Council. Curtis, are you? There you go. Thank you. We have Kristen Wheaton. Yes, Mercyhurst University. And Liz Wilson from Ben Franklin Partners. So let's thank her. I also want to acknowledge, because we don't want to overlook the subject matter, the subject matter experts who are volunteering their time to teach these classes throughout the morning session. So we need to really acknowledge their presence. When you walk in a room, I think it's important to thank them, to show gratitude for them showing up to provide their level of expertise. And I appreciate your willingness to participate with us on this program for all you experts. So with that said, I think I've already reminded you to fill out the forms that are given to you. That's important for us. And as we move forward to our 9 a.m. workshops, please consult either your schedule or conference programs for details. We provided these at registration. And that finally, to remember, lunch begins promptly at 12:30 here, where our keynote speaker will be Jack Barton, founder and CEO of Out of the Gray Coffee. Thank you again, and let's get rolling.
Good afternoon. Can I get your attention? This is another component of the Small Business Initiative, which is the afternoon or lunch session where we get a chance to thank our sponsors. We get a chance to have a keynote who will come up shortly and talk about how he has overcome certain obstacles to create a business, and he was sharing a story with me. I think it's going to be very exciting to hear that. I also want to add a little bit of a reflection from what I saw and a little bit of clarity on our business. I was explaining how Treasury really works, and most people don't understand the huge operation of Treasury. So I'd like to just do that one more time, along with reflection. So my reflection is, as I went through, and having done this in two other locations now, and we will be in York in October, and prior to that, I had done this around the United States in developing this model in 7 cities, is that there's something truly unique going on here in Erie, PA, and here at Gannon University that I don't see in many places. And I think you have in your geography, I think you have in your environment, and I think you have in your resources of people who are committed and dedicated to this area, a true incubator, if you will, for taking an idea that may start around a kitchen table, it may start on a football field. I heard one of the entrepreneurs, it may start here at Gannon University. It can happen almost anywhere, and you can walk into Gannon, and it seems like other places, and get someone who will help you think through the next step. And I think that also with that, unlike other big cities, is you can get cluttered out. You can kind of get cluttered out by other people. And so it's important to be in an environment that will hear you and that would recognize your thoughts. So that's my reflection. So I think you should really embrace this. And I will tell you, this is unique. I do get to travel the world, and I do get to travel the country. And this is unique. So please understand that and go for it. The second part is describing what we do. And I was naming I tried to name our 4 lines of business, and I didn't get to the 4th one. And I wanted to make sure that we are a bank, which is the $100 billion part. We, along with the fact that we're an unclaimed property, which deals with about $200 million in revenue. We are a fiscal review, which does about $90 billion in payment, and we are a 529 program that has a $3 billion fund. So those are our 4 lines of business. And then we have, which I wanted to reflect upon, is the Small Business Initiative, which is a whole new entrepreneurial growth that has never been done. So we have that, and we have our staff that are the founders of the Small Business Initiative that are working with us. And on top of that, we have a support structure of other people, from human resources to our technical team, our legal department, all supporting every initiative that we do. So we are a conglomerate, and we're one of the largest in the world at that. So I wanted you guys to understand that this is important, that we see this as important, and that we took and taken our resources to create what could be, we would like to see this as an institution, and that would be me to work with who would be the next treasurer, to see that this thing becomes another or a 5th line of business that is supported by corporations. No dollar, other than our cost of treasury employees, no dollar is really coming out of the state taxes, your money. It's coming from corporations, small businesses who say, we believe in this, and we're going to write a check for this. And we've been overfunded, if you will, on this. So that's how important it is. I think the community sees it and everyone else. So that's my reflection and my comment on what we do. I do want to say thank you again and good afternoon. And I hope everyone had a chance to take a part in some of the sessions, even if you weren't had a business, but you were able to listen. I heard amazing things going on in the rooms I went to. I also had a chance to tour the Gannon University. I had a chance to meet with one of the entrepreneurs who, he and his team gave us a real 20 to 30 minute presentation in depth on their company. And I think it was fantastic with what they were doing there. We want to be supportive. I have another idea around small business that we may be able to support the businesses by at least giving you guys attention through the website. So again, I'll talk to my staff about that. I'd also like to take time before I introduce our keynote. I'd like to take time to introduce some of our special guests. Dean Scheller. I had a chance to, oh, Dean, there you go. I'm thinking of John Taylor. There's too much going on. I'm thinking of President Taylor. The Small Business Development Center, the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, their corporate sponsor, the Ben Franklin Technology Partners of Central and Northern PA, our conference partners and session speakers, AUMA Actuators, Inc., HBK CPAs and Consultants. You can raise your hand if you want a little recognition who you are. McDonald, Illig, Jones and Britton, LLP. Thank you. Mercyhurst University. I knew they were here earlier. Obviously, Gannon University and Small Business Development Center. Maggie, thank you. Northwest Commission Procurement Technical Assistance Center. Right there. Excellent presentation this morning. Thank you. University of Pittsburgh, SBDC. Thank you all for partnering with us on the SBI. Also want to recognize the incredible local team who worked with Erie SBI. They are listed again in the conference program. I want to give a special acknowledgement to Carmen Dawson. So Carmen Carmen's no stranger to knowing me, going back to Philadelphia and my work for, I guess I've been doing my work